A very good morning to you. Travel and Things in association with Sun Destinations, iconic destinations with amazing experiences, present In Conversation with. I'm your host, David Batsoffen, and today my guest is none other than Albert Pretorius, who plays Flip in this brand new series on Showmax called Die Kantoor. Flip, good morning. Welcome.
Hallo Mr. Betsoffen, hoe gaan het met
As,
jou?
nee, gaan maar goed, dankie. Self.
Nee, punte nie wen. Punte nie wen.
Lekker so. Why I introduced you as Flip, I don't know, because you're Albert Pretorius. And if people don't know who you are, let me read a bio, because people who are watching Showmax maybe going, who is this man? We've never seen him before. Folks, he's been in Beurtwag, The Waterfront, Fynskrift, Nêrens Noord-Kaap. One Piece for Netflix, guys. He's cracked the Netflix code. Spinners. Devil's Peak, based on a book by my favorite author, Dion Meyer. What a writer, really and truly. And then, as if that's not enough, Albert, Die Wonderwerke, Mandela Long Walk to Freedom,
Well,
Confetti.
that if you see me in Long Walk to Freedom, I will give you 50 rand.
It's one of those. You're on the
It's
credit
it's,
roll,
it's
but you ended up on the cutting room floor. And then you were again
yeah.
in another Netflix series called Catch Me a Killer. Now, I think I know that you started your professional career in 2008, if I'm correct. And I saw you in a production called Three Little Pigs at the Wits Theatre, and you blew me away. That show was spectacular, Albert. It's still front and center of productions that I have seen and that have remained with me for all the correct reasons.
Well, I'm so glad about that because that was some of the most fun I've ever had on stage because it was with Rob van Vuren and James Keynes, and we just took fairy tale and spinned it with South African politics and just played all the weirdest little animal characters. I loved it. And I think that's about the last time I saw you as well. Like I have a very vivid memory of you in Joburg on your lawn for some reason. I think drinking a Savannah on your lawn. And you're just there, and Tara's there, and Jane is there, and I think that's about the last time I saw you.
That's very possible. But now we come not full circle, but full up to date, and we talk about Die Kantoor. Now,
Yeah.
people who've seen The Office, I'm one of those. I love the original. I found it very moving. I cried in the last episode of that. They took it to America. They Americanized it. I hated the American version. I really and truly did. Steve Carell is brilliant, but he's not Ricky Gervais. And then
But did you watch the whole of the American? Did you watch it all?
no, he
Because
he he made me so angry that I stopped watching. Should I go back and rewatch
okay,
it?
so my thing is, I'm also like I'm the OG. Like when I
Yeah.
saw the British one and what Gervais did, and the cringe factor and the pauses, the quietness, and as you say, the heart. I mean, the Christmas special of the UK Office, like I was finished. You know, when
Yeah.
when that song starts playing and he craps on Finchy and Tim comes back with Dawn. I mean, it's like everything. So I was very, very against the American one. And then I watched the first season and it was absolute toilet. It was toilet. And I said, no, this, I'm not going to. And then someone said, just push to season two, season three. I'm like, ah. So the problem was with season one, they copied the British one like almost not word for word, but they try to recreate the British
Yeah.
one. And America is not Britain, so it didn't work. And then when they went season two, three, four, like it really, like Corral is incredible. And yeah, so when people ask me what's your favorite one, it used to be like just UK, screw US.
Mhm.
But I found some love for the US one, found some
Okay.
real love for it.
I'll go back and watch. When they approached you to play
Mm.
Flip in Die Kantoor, what were your immediate thoughts?
Um, so there was like an audition process. When we
Mhm.
got the side, they said they're doing the office and here audition for the office. My first reaction was like, why? Why? It's like 25 years, I think, after the first one. like, what can we add? Like, you know, that was made before cancel culture. Like, what can we really bring to the party?
Mm.
And then the first audition sites came, and I read it, and I mean, it's out of context, so you just get the scene, and then no, and some of those interview scenes,
Mhm.
and some of them have not gone through all the channels yet. So I read it. I'm like, there is no way we can say any of this. There is just no way we can say any of this. So I was like, "Oh, okay, whoever gets this is brave, because there might not be a lot of a career after this." Um, and then I went to the callbacks, and then I had a chat with the director, and I told him these things. Like, I'm quite candid with him. Like, I've known him for a while, and I just said, "Listen, what are we adding to this thing? And will you be by my side when I get cancelled?" Um, and, and then we had a really good chat. And what I liked, what he said was, you know, so there was a brief out that they are doing
Mm.
the office in South Africa and in Afrikaans. And he said, you know what would really kill me? If this came out on TV, I sit on the couch, I watch it, and someone else messed this up. If I sit there and I'm like, damn, you know, I could have done it better. Or
Yeah.
damn, they went with that. Or damn, there was a better joke there. Or it's like, let me be the one to mess it up. If this is a shit show, let me be the one to cause it. And that triggered me. I'm like, you're right. I would hate sitting on my couch going, this guy is playing one of the most iconic roles in TV and he's
Yeah.
screwing it up. Let me be the one to screw it up.
It's a good way of looking at things. How much
Well, it's
with
the only way sometimes.
with that in mind, Albert, how much leeway did you have with the script and with the character? I mean, did you have to do script word for word, or did they allow you to do improvisation and see where that led?
Yeah, no. There was some improv. I would say less than people would think.
Mhm.
So the episodes and the story works because the structure is so good. Like, you can
Yeah.
only have the payoff at the end if you set up all the little blocks in the beginning.
Yeah.
But Benny is very smart. He created a place of play. Like,
Mm.
his most important, the most important thing for him is to be able to play and to explore scenes, and to really see where scenes can go and where characters can go. And he also likes to shoot in continuity as far as possible, so that maybe something happens in the first scene that we
Mm.
add, and then we can have a little hook for the end. You know, sometimes if you
Yeah.
shoot the end part first, you go, oh, damn, we missed out on that little hook.
Mm.
Um, so the structure was very there and very clear. And then he rigged the set in such a way that um, there were minimal stops and changes. Like, so we never,
Yeah.
yeah, he loaded it with the right lights so that we don't have to do a lot of lighting setups. So all the lights were in the ceiling, and it was film lights, but they
Yeah.
made it part of the set. And most episodes play off in a day or two, so there aren't many costume changes.
Yeah.
And what that gives you is, between scenes, there isn't suddenly like half an hour for people to change clothes or a new lighting setup. You can just go to the next scene and you can play. It bought us so much time to play. And in that, from the first rehearsal to where we end up, he would throw in suggestions, or, you know, you'd be so free to improvise. So we improvised a lot. A lot of it didn't make it into the
Mm.
final product, obviously, because for him, story is still king.
Yeah.
But if it added to the story in any way, like, it would definitely. I would say 80% is script. Maybe it
Mm.
was 75. Between 75 and 80% is script, and the rest is a bit of improv.
Well, it works so well, specifically between you and Sculptor Note, because there are a lot of
Yeah.
scenes between the two of you, and there's a lot of throwaway lines. The rest of the cast, I don't know, with the exception of Carl Beerkes, because I remember Carl and his sister, who used to be a dancer, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going back to the 70s now. But the rest of the cast is unknown to me, but they gel so beautifully. They really and truly do. And each character gets a moment to set their character within the ambit of your show. So
Yeah.
yes, Flip is the lead and Skulk is the sort of the sounding board. but each of the characters in every episode has their own little moment to make it theirs.
Well, more than that, I know a lot of them felt, but I wouldn't say. So everyone had to be on set every day, all the time, because there might be a scene between me and Skulk, but they catch people in the background. So
Yeah.
it really became almost like a 9 to 5. And there was a guy from the BBC here for the first week to just give some pointers and stuff. And he told them, you're going to be sitting around a lot. If you want to, upskill, now is the time. So Ilse Oppold, she taught herself how to draw. So she was constantly on her computer learning how to draw. I think Carl Beekers was busy writing a script, those kind of things.
Okay.
And then in the edit, it was so great because after the final day of shooting, we watched the first episode. And then everyone realized, even though, yes, Flip does the majority of the talking, it is such an ensemble piece. Like it doesn't work without the ensemble, and especially a strong ensemble. So because the characters aren't just there for flavor, they are really the conscience of the show. Like Flip, we we judge Flip less, or we realize what's being said because Emma looks into the camera and shakes her head because Gavin goes, you can't say that, Flip, so otherwise it would just be like an offensive mess. But they are actually the conscience of the show, and
Yeah.
saying we know what we're saying is wrong, like because they give a look at the camera or they judge him.
Yeah.
And also to see their little stories and how that unfolds, I love it because some of them obviously I didn't see. I was shooting something else or whatever. So the whole, I think it's episode 4 or something. The whole dacha smoking. That's the first time I saw that. I'm like, I love it. I love it.
How many episodes are there?
13 in the season.
Oh, okay, because we sat down to watch what we thought was the new episode for the week, and it wasn't. That's why we ended up watching episode 1 again. And Kara and my wife and I looking at each other going, I'm sure we've seen this, but it's out of context, and I'm sure we've seen it before. Because there's a lovely
You have to
scene
say
in the
that.
opening of episode 1 where you walk through the factory, high-fiving,
Yes.
low-fiving, people who don't even know who you are, staff members who don't want to touch you. And then you walk past, and it's not a spoiler alert, you walk past the door. And when you closed it, I said, I know there's somebody on the other side of that. And lo and behold, there was.
There was.
And
Yeah.
it's lovely things like that because if you watch enough of British television comedy, you know that those gags, they're not new, but
No.
they pop up in different scenes, in different character with different characters and in different programs. But the premise is the same. And I laugh at that stuff before it happens. It's the same as the glances to camera. Everybody
Yeah.
thinks, oh, you can't do that. You're breaking the fourth wall. That fourth wall was broken long ago, people. They know the
Long
cameras.
ago. Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's interesting. People who hadn't seen the UK or the American one, like it's a new, not a new style, but it's a very weird style for them. Like I see a lot of people on Facebook going like, why do they keep looking to the camera? That you stop looking to the camera. I'm like, that's the brilliant part of this is the camera look. It's everything for me.
but now, just thinking of your character Flip and then the Ricky Gervais original, we rewatched an early episode where he plays a practical joke on their receptionist where he fires her. And it's done
Yes.
in all seriousness. And I'm sitting there going, no, that's not how you do it. That was 20 years ago, you could get away with it. Now HR would be all over you. And then you
Yeah.
have moments when you play practical jokes on your people, but they're lighthearted and they're fun and they're empathetic. And they're so beautifully scripted, Albert, that you go, hell, he'd like to be a prankster, but he's no bloody good at it. And the people know he's hiding in the rubbish. Nobody cares. It's not
I
a
want to know. Yeah,
nasty prank. It's just a wonderful, warm feeling of a boss who really wants to be loved by his staff, and they couldn't be bothered. They really couldn't.
yeah, but I think it comes back to that. cultural thing of we can't make the UK one. They have a different sense of humor. We can't make the US one. They've got a different sense of
Yeah.
humor. The same way, I think if an American or a British person watches our one, I mean, they wouldn't get the Rassi references or the Leon Schuster stuff, or some of it might, it's really a humor thing and a culture thing. And with Leon Schuster being his idol, of course it's going to be lighthearted. Of course it's going to be terrible. He's like, Flip is terrible with those things. And as you say, like most of the gags you can see coming a mile away.
But that's
Because he
part of
is
the fun.
he is so, I know, but and because he's so obvious. He's
Yeah.
so obvious. It's so blatantly clear that he just wants to be loved.
There are two characters I must ask you about, though. There's one
Mm.
dude in your office that seems to have just arrived. Nobody's introduced him. Biggish guy with a mustache. And he
I knew you were
wanders
going
in
to ask
and
this.
out, like one of those old British farces when the guy from the theater next door just pops in to be a character in your production and then leaves. And he's been in, I think, two or maybe three episodes that I've seen so far. And I keep going, who is this man? And the other one is the MMA fighter, who the
Yeah.
motor mechanic that you never see in close up. And I'm screaming at the director, do an MCU on this guy. Maybe he is from the EFC, the EFC, the one of the MMA franchises, but show us him. So is this a purposeful tactic that you're setting up for people, or is it just something that happened organically?
I think that's more a question for Benny. Look, we wanted extra bodies in the space as well.
Mhm.
Just so it's not just so Fani is an actor, but his real name is Fani. I can't remember his character name. Sorry.
That's how good he
Oh,
is.
Hendrik.
You can't even
Hendrik.
remember
Hendrik.
his real name.
No, his real name is Fani. His character name is Hendrik, I think.
Yeah.
But he was also like he is one of the most like he does the most ads of anyone I know. I saw him the other day at a casting. He's like, yeah, fourth one for the week. I'm like, wow. He's got a brilliant face and a great persona, and he was also doing a play in Pretoria.
Mhm.
So he's in some episodes. He is, I think, HR or so, I can't remember. Sorry, I we shot this a while ago, but he's very much like a supporting role. And because he wasn't available some days, some days he's in the office, some days he's not. Uh,
I just think it's
um,
it's just so lovely because if other people like me are watching, going, "Who the hell is this man?" Maybe, as you say, maybe he's just from another production. He wandered through. He thought it was a casting for another. It was an
no,
audition for another ad
no. He
campaign.
was he was hand chosen. Yeah, I don't know about close-ups on the MMA fighter. He's an actor and a podcaster. He's not an MMA fighter. I
Okay.
don't know why they didn't give him a close-up. I think it's also a voyeuristic thing. The
Yeah, it is.
cameras are filming the office,
Yeah,
so they wouldn't necessarily go and film the guy at the garage or with the
correct.
fight. The whole fight
Yeah.
happens from the windows or from far
Mm.
away. So I think it's also a voyeuristic tactic that they used. But no, he's a good actor, and
Okay.
he's a very apparently I didn't know this very famous podcaster. So
Well, you
he's
see,
like spoken to all the pop.
how did they go about choosing what the product would be for this office, the Polony?
Yeah, I don't know. So part of the thing is, as I said when we spoke earlier. So there are some guidelines for the franchise. There's
Yeah.
got to be the boss, which is a fool. Then
Mhm.
there's got to be the jester, which is usually the Dwight Chart character, Gareth
Mhm.
character, and there's got to be a love interest. But the boss can be, any gender, any race. The love interest can be, you don't have to have a salesman and the receptionist they can have any jobs they want.
Yeah.
But the rest is up for grabs. It doesn't have to be a paper company. It doesn't. So I think early on in the writing process, Benny and Skulk said, what is super South African but a bit cringy? So and they went, okay, cool. You know what? We are a country that loves meat. We love meat. And what is the worst meat there is? And that's polony. So it's already, you start with that culture, and it's also very South African. I don't think, maybe in America you say bologna, but I don't even think of it as our polony.
No, they'd
So
know
I think
about
that
salami, but polony is definitely not salami.
no,
No. When when you
definitely.
when you came together as a cast on that first day,
No.
did you know any, aside from Skulk, did you know any of the others? Had you worked with any of the others? Had any of the others worked with each other? Because it must have been an interesting meeting of minds and styles.
Yeah, completely. So I've met, like, I know Skulk. I've seen him a few times and went to the same drama school and stuff. But this is the first time we've actually worked together. Lida, I know. I've worked with her before on
Mhm.
Spreus. I mean, she's a legend. She's a legend. She turned 90 on set. I'll tell you that
You're
story in a minute.
kidding.
90. Yeah, I'm
That's
going to tell you now.
amazing.
Um,
I wouldn't have said that she was that old.
and
Wow.
she was game for everything. When they said sit on the floor, cross-legged, she would do it. It's just they said, but it was so amazing. So I think it was like the second week of filming,
Mm.
and she turned 90 that day. And they live in Oudtshoorn. Her and her husband, who's also a brilliant actor, Johan Botha. And then we rehearsed the scene. It's one of the boardroom scenes, and we rehearse it and we rehearse it. And at the end, Benny's like, you know what, Albert, I think let's change up the scene. Instead of starting at the front, I want you to burst through the doors and start, crapping on people. I'm like, interesting choice. Okay. Um, and we go outside, and it's like, okay, let's go. And they flew up her husband.
Oh,
And and when they said action, the door flew open, and in walks Johan. And obviously they have it on camera because they were shooting it.
yeah.
So I can't wait. I can't wait for that footage and for some of the bloopers. Like I love a blooper, so
Oh,
I'm really excited to see some bloopers.
everything you're
And the only
talking.
other person,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, you were going to
uh,
say any other person?
oh, the only other person I knew and worked with before was Carl Beerkes. We did Binnelanders together at that time I lived in Joburg when I met you as
Okay,
well.
fair enough. Let me just digress. Let me go back, if you don't mind, Albert. If I'd met you in Matric, did Albert Pretorius in Matric know that this was his way forward, or did you want to go and work in a bank or maybe the railways or something like that? Did you have
No,
other
no, Albert
plans
and
for your life?
no, I still don't. That's a problem. This is it. No, in matric, I very much knew. I knew when I was 11. Uh,
Okay.
when I was 11, I told people this is what I'm going to do, and I focused all my energy in that. And I also just love movies, and so like it's never been anything else. I don't have a backup, which is really bad in today's climate, but I don't.
So, so what have been your favorite characters over the years that you've played, bringing you to this point in your career, which I think, rightly or wrongly, is going to get you more notice than possibly anything you've done before. Again, for all the right
Yeah,
reasons, though.
look, I mean, this is one of those. When I watched The Office the first time, like I was so smitten with Gervais, and this is like if I think about great comedy series, The Office
Mm.
pops up. This is a dream role, and I'm so lucky and privileged that I'm in South Africa when they did it,
Yeah,
and if I was anywhere else in the world, I would never have the chance to play the boss in the Office franchise.
yeah.
And I can honestly say, like, the amount of fun I had on the set, it, it is one of the best experiences of my life. So I love playing Flip. Um, uh, now that you mentioned Three Little Pigs earlier, I love Three Little Pigs as well, and touring the world with those loons. I mean, they are loons. James Kent is a loon. Um, But I loved Nærens Noordkaap as well, simply because, it started off as a theater show that we all created, and then
Mm.
suddenly that became a TV show. And this character you help writing and creating suddenly gets a new life. And suddenly, all the characters we talked about on stage, because it's a three-hander, which is three brothers, suddenly there is a father, and the father is Frank Opperman. And I get to work with Frank Opperman and
Yeah.
become friends with Frank Opperman. I mean, he's coming to my wedding, like those kind of things. But yeah, I can honestly say there are very, very, very few roles that I went like, oh, that wasn't fun. I can think of maybe one or two that I didn't enjoy doing. Yeah, yeah. No, no. I've been really, really lucky.
And you're also one of those actors that have worked across the board. The
Mm.
types of roles you've done, you've not been stereotyped as like gangster number three, or somebody who's wearing a dark suit and a white tie and is going to mur you stukkend if you do or say something wrong. Your characters have covered all of those.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there was a time where I was playing a lot of apartheid racists, where
Mm.
I'm like, okay, cool, policeman number three
Yeah.
yelling at black people, policeman number two beating up. So there was a point where I'm like, oof, okay. Um, but yeah, they've been quite varied, which I'm very grateful for.
Right.
It's also really nice to do a bit of comedy. My last few years, I've done a lot of heavy stuff,
Mm.
Alcoholics and Catch Me Killer. Like I played Boetie Boer, which was just like a rough character. So it's been a
Yeah.
lot of heavy characters. So to do something comedic was an absolute treat.
Do you have a dream role that if somebody said to you, would you like to play? And but when they start the word of the character, you know where it's going and you go, yes, please.
Uh, Look, Flip was one of them. I really wanted to do a mockumentary, and I thought, cool, we're never going to do The Office. So hopefully, there's a really well-written mockumentary that comes my way. So the fact that it's this one, because you only have one, I
Yeah.
do believe you only have one as the lead in a mockumentary. And a few years ago, an opportunity came up to be the lead in a mockumentary, and it just didn't feel right. So
Yeah.
I no, no. If I get one shot, I want it to be something I love. And so, I mean, this was big, and I'm so lucky. Another one would probably be Macbeth. If you start going, would you want to play Macbeth? Yes, yes, I will be Macbeth.
Okay. So let's go with Macbeth because interestingly enough, that was the very first production that my sister and I did. Amateur theater. We played the spirits of Banquo's ghosts. We walked from
Ah,
prompt
brilliant.
to OP, got into my dad's car, and he took us home. And
Mm.
that was our beginning of theater in 19 my I say 1966, my sister says 1967, but we're not going to argue over that. You want to play Macbeth. I want to know if they said to you the role is yours, you can choose your own salary and we will pay it. We've got bottomless pockets. But
Wow.
here's the kicker, Albert. You have to play him naked the entire production. Would you?
Um, 10 years ago, sure, but age is a bastard.
Agent Gravity.
Age and gravity. No, like I've done some theater shows where I did two where I was naked, but not the whole production. It was like
Right.
a little bit of bum and a little bit of the old, uh, yeah, chummy.
Yeah.
And it was in Holland, and they are more forgiving.
They are
So
moving. We did a
so
production here many years ago where one of the actors had to appear naked on stage, but he only had to run across. So he was wearing what they term a cocksock. Um,
okay.
but the last night, and Judy Page was one of the judges on stage. And the last night, this actor who will not be named because he's still involved in theater, decided to do it naked. Judy's face when he ran past her was something I wish I'd known he was going to do so I could have taken photographs
Oh,
because she was not expecting it.
No, I
It was
can
the
imagine.
funniest thing.
Yeah, I would have liked to see that photo. I would have liked to see that.
Albert, we're running out of time now. You very casually tossed in the conversation just a moment ago, your wedding. When is this
Mm.
about to occur?
In May, I'm getting married in May to,
Okay.
yeah, incredible, incredible woman, Marie.
Mhm.
She runs a dance company and she's art department and she's a wedding planner, which really helps. Uh, and yeah, like I can't wait. So I also
Wonderful.
we moved in together a few months ago,
Mhm.
and I was always like been on my own for so long, and you know, a bachelor has his
Yeah.
ways, and I know it is. I love it. I thought I might
Wonderful.
get trapped, or I might.
Mhm.
Like she's away now for 4 weeks on a shoot.
Mhm.
I miss her so much. I'm going to Wilderness on Friday. Like yeah, I'm
Sommer net so.
absolutely, yeah. Look, I don't know how anyone figures out a guest list or table like arrangement for a wedding.
Don't
I
don't
like,
worry because there are going to be fights around that. Trust me. I don't want to sit next to this one, and that one doesn't talk to this
oh,
one. And what you should do is just put tables and chairs and go, Mensa, sort yourselves out. You can sit wherever you
that,
bloody well like.
that's what I said. But then she said, yeah, but the groups will then just stay in their
Hmm?
groups. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
This is
she's
not
the
a one
wedding
of.
planner.
Yeah, exactly. You do your thing. I'll pitch up in a suit on the day or not, and we'll be happy ever after. Albert, thank you
Maybe
so much.
maybe I surprise her instead of doing a plane naked. I just do my wedding
Don't you blame it on me. That's all I'm
naked.
saying.
I was going to say, David said,
Albert, thank you so very much. Die Kantoor is on Showmax. I think we're up to episode 6 at the moment, if I'm correct.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
New episodes drop on Tuesdays. So yeah,
so there'll
yesterday
be
one
another
dropped.
one tonight. There should be one
Yeah,
today
yeah.
when yeah. Great stuff. I wish you all the very best with the remainder of the episodes. If there's going to be a season 2, and I don't want to put a kibosh on it, I look forward to it. You and the cast are just making our lives here at 114 such joy in amongst all the madness it is in the rest of the world currently. My guest today has been Albert Pretorius. He's currently playing Flip in Die Kantoor on Showmax. If you haven't seen it, people watch it. You don't have to be Afrikaans to enjoy it because there are subtitles, and the subtitles are sometimes funnier than the lines. Albert, once again, thank you for being on in conversation with.
But thanks,
It's been a joy and a
it was so
pleasure
great.
talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
He's Albert. I'm David. Until the next time, goodbye and thank you.